Hi, my name is Renee, and I was asked to talk a little bit about an experience that happened in my life. I lost my son at 13 due to suicide. And so they were thinking that by hopefully me sharing my experience, that maybe that helps other people that have gone through the same thing. Probably just a little background first. At that time, I was going through a divorce, and due to parent alienation on his father's part, Joe was living with his father. And there wasn't a whole lot of contact for a year between him and I, mainly because of the parent alienation. And it was hard. And then a year later, all of a sudden, I get this call, and it's my son. And he was asked me how I was doing. And I said, I was doing good. He talked to me about Christmas coming up and what he was, hoping to get. And I said, he requested it was a chain necklace with a ring on it. And anyway, so got him some Christmas presents, and he actually invited me into his dad's house. And I got to watch him open his Christmas presents. And I left a voicemail for my counselor. I was like, wow, you got to hear what's happening. And it was 3 days later, I believe, he had called me. He had gotten his own tooth out, so we didn't need the dentist appointment anymore. And he requested blue Gatorade and crayon popsicles. At 3 p.m., I dropped those off at his dad's house, and at 10:30 p.m., I got the call that he had taken his life. I was confused because I told my counselor, I said, wow, I thought things were coming back. I thought he realized I wasn't this child abuser that I was made out to be. And my counselor told me, Renee, that was his way of making peace before deciding to leave. That's one of the things that I learned with suicide, is that someone normally isn't going to take their life when they're talking about it. It's probably going to happen after they become in a better mood, because when they all of a sudden are real happy, they have found a way to take care of their problems, and so they're relieved for this short amount of time before they decide to enact. So that's our history. My son was 13 years old. He was in 8th grade. Filled me with a lot of anger and a lot of sadness. It was very confusing for my children. Joe has a number of brothers, 3 that are younger, and 1 brother that is older than him. I learned that with God's help, that if I could put my troubles in God's hands, that really helped me relax. Not to say that I still to this day don't have anger and bitterness to a number of different. My anger is directed in a number of different directions, from A to Z, and probably not enough time to go into details on that. But I've learned that it doesn't get better. That you just get better at accepting it or dealing with it. I really don't know what the right word is, but it just never gets better. And I remember right after it happened, I thought about Joe every minute. And then after a few months, it was every day. And then after a year, it was a week, once a week. And now it's I still think about him. And that's a good thing. It just, those thoughts aren't in my head every minute, but they're still there. One of the songs that really helped me get through, I learned through this whole ordeal about Christian music, and I always knew that channel was on the left end of the radio, but I never put it on. I thought it was all a bunch of church music, but it's very helpful, and just how it reminds me that God is there to comfort us. And one of the songs that really helped me was 7 times 70 by Chris August. I still listen to it to this day on occasion, especially around the anniversary of Joe's passing. It's if you listen to the words, it's almost like my son singing to me, or perhaps your child singing to you. It's hard to explain without you actually listening to the song, but it's 7 times 70 by Chris August. I have learned to watch for signs from God. God sends us signs to comfort us, and know that He sends His angels to help us. I'll share with you a couple of signs, kind of lighten this up a little bit here. Shortly after Joe passed away the following summer, I was driving up to my dad's house up north, and my aunt had called and had said, well, we need some potatoes. And I thought, well, that's cool. I'm driving through Sturgeon Bay. I'll just go off to Pick and Save and get some potatoes. And I go back to the produce department, and here is a helium dolphin tied to the potato rack at Pick and Save in Sturgeon Bay. I was like, whoa, this is weird. That was Joe's favorite animal, dolphins and rabbits. And wow, a dolphin. Why would a dolphin be tied to the potato rack at Pick and Save? And then I get called to go pick up potatoes. I just think of that as, wow, it's just a sign that he's okay. And I was probably the only one in Pick and Save that day taking a picture in the produce department, but I did. So it's just a sign. It doesn't mean that the pain gets better or any less. It's just, it's more of a comfort, a reassurance. In fact, just recently, about a month ago, one of my sons needed a winter coat, and so we went to Fleet Farm, and we could not find his size. He's too big for the youth and too small for the adult. And all of a sudden, magically, we come across this XL 14-16, and I said, whoa, or perhaps my son might have said, oh, Joe must have helped us find this coat. Then, as we were pulling out of Fleet Farm and going down the road, the car in front of us, the license plate was JOE with some numbers afterwards, and I thought, wow, Joe, wow, just a sign. Perhaps he did help us find that coat. So just watch for those signs. They are very reassuring. I believe there is no such thing as a coincidence. Things happen for a reason. God is real. In fact, I teach religious ed, and I tell the kids, we say God is never ending, God is eternal. And think about the universe. We haven't found the end yet because God is never ending. I also tell my religious ed kids, when you hear people say, well, I don't believe in God, where is God? Where is God? Where is God? Where is Jesus? I tell them it's like a flea sitting on a dog, and the flea says, I don't see a dog. So I use that analogy a lot, to see God in your life. Sometimes you can't see God, but you can see what He does. In order to help my children and myself cope with the loss of their brother and my son, we created a memory table shortly after Joe's passing. And the memory table is, it's a table. It's like an end table, an extra end table. And it has everything that belonged to Joe. We'll go from perhaps his favorite pair of socks, to his favorite book, to pictures, art projects he made, and we call it Joe's memory table. And we have a picture of him on there, and lots of things, as well as a cross and some prayers. And what really helped the kids afterwards was, as we went through the house, whether it was a year later, 2 years later, or even yesterday, hey, wasn't this Joe's? Yeah, I think it was, actually. Oh, can I go put it on his table? Yeah, go ahead. And so that has really helped. Having that table is not the same as having him around, but he's still there. and his picture is on there, and we see him every day. So I would recommend making a memory table. It's very helpful. Recently, some struggles have resurfaced, and one of the songs that really helps me now is, and has helped me before, is "Before the Morning" by Josh Wilson. Is very, very helpful, and I would listen to that song every day, every day, every day, every day. It helped get me through. So God's message through that song. It's by Josh Wilson, and it's called "Before the Morning." I would really recommend listening to that song. Sometimes struggles seem like they are never over, but they just change, and so you can't really change what happens. You just are able to change how you react to them. The Catholic Church was actually really helpful for me. We always went to church, but I never really had that connection, and I ended up staying with my boys in one of my friend's basements for a while, and without me knowing, she gave my name to church, and all of a sudden church and God became a real part of my life. They were very helpful, and I never really had that relationship until it was created for me, and it's still there. My relationship with God, Jesus, the church. I teach religious ed now. I just want to share that message with kids, adults. God is there. You just have to make sure that you jump at that opportunity. One of the lines that really helped me get through a lot of the struggles in my life was put it in God's hands. Put it in God's hands, and then enjoy your life. So sometimes you don't really know what's going to happen, but put it in God's hands, and He knows. Let's see. I guess I can share with you a line from the end of a poem that I believe is very inspirational. It says, "And you learn that you really can endure, and you really are strong, and you really do have worth, and you learn, with every goodbye, you learn." Goodbye.